Hi, this is Sonam and I am guest editor for Thrive India all this month. The one thing that makes me who I am is being afraid and not being scared of being afraid. I think that's the best way to put it, because if you have fear of anything, you need to conquer it. I think without a little bit of fear, things don't seem as real. I mean, that's why people like to jump off planes or take chances, because, you know, when you overcome that fear, it kind of makes you feel like the queen or the king of the world. Also, it's being unapologetically myself, having that self-confidence and self-respect to understand that being myself is the best way forward. Otherwise, you know, it's very exhausting trying to be something that you're not, or conforming to ideals that you think are right or wrong. I feel like there has to be a lot of empathy and EQ where you approach anything, and a lot of compassion. I believe in approaching everything with compassion. And as soon as you decide to do that, you see everybody in a new light, and automatically there is positivity that will come through. So I don't know if I've worked on it, but it is something that I have grown to love about myself. I can give you a lot of like philosophical jargon, but they're simple things. I don't sleep with my phone next to me. I have my phone not with me, it's always in the other room. If I don't have an extra room, then I put it in the kitchen or the living room. I speak to my husband in the night before sleeping, and we decide not to talk about anything unhappy. I make sure I surround myself with the right, I really believe in Satsang, you know, having the right people around you and the right company. I don't like sycophants or yes men. I like people challenging me. I love people who challenge me, people who ground you, around you. It doesn't matter whether you're a celebrity or a normal person or anybody. If you have the right people around you, if you have the right satsang, then you can thrive. Exercise is very important. Eating right is very important. I believe reading and not spending too much time on social media is very important. Well, some of the biggest stars in the country are not on social media, and I think it keeps them sane. As an actor, unfortunately and fortunately, you're like an open nerve, right? You're open all the time. So the only way is for you to look within and to constantly analyze and understand yourself. Not to become self-conscious, but to grow as a person. To take whatever you see and not be emotional and affected by it, but understand it. There's a lot of stigma attached to it, but I believe that even if you have somebody to talk to, even professionally, if you feel you can't talk to your friends, you can't talk to your family, or you know, you feel like you're in a rut, then, you know, especially in my profession, I think it's important to talk to someone professionally. I've benefited from it a couple of years back, and it's actually really got me through the next 5 years. It was a short session, like maybe 2-3 months, but it really helped. It makes it easier to talk to someone sometimes, and if you can't, then maybe write a diary, write down your thoughts. Praying helps a lot. Whether you believe in God or Allah, you know, Ram, Krishna, you know, Christ, you know, you follow Judaism, anything, it's just a form of meditation. When you pray, it's a form of centering yourself. You know, you can chant, you can do, you know, yoga, breathing techniques, you can dance, anything that centers you, anything that becomes like a meditation. All I can say is that you shouldn't get validation from anybody outside. The only validation that you should have is from yourself. There are no beauty standards that have ever lasted over the ages. The idea of beauty changes over and over again. I believe health is beauty. Being healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, for me is beautiful. When I see someone glowing with health, with happiness, with spirituality, for me that's beautiful. Not what your eyes look like, not what your lips look like, not what your body looks like. if you're healthy, if you can run, if you can jump, if you can play, if you can, read, if you can be happy, that's beautiful to me. I'm a practicing Hindu, and I don't believe it's a religion. I think it's a philosophy and a way of life that I've adopted. The first thing that resonated with me the most was that Hinduism was something that had evolved over the ages from various other religions and what other ideas and other thought processes that people brought into India. It was not dogmatic in any way. There wasn't a book that you need to follow anything, and that's why I like it. I like the idea of karma. I like the idea of good and bad. I like the idea that your life is like a bank balance. I like the idea that there are no rules. The only rule is to be a good person. Well, if Thrive propagates the idea of inclusiveness, of understanding in a more subtle way what sexuality means, what spirituality means, what humanity means, what being an Indian means, what politics is supposed to be about, not what it is made to be. I believe the world is one big fat school and university. We've all come here to learn. I think we take ourselves too seriously, and I think the whole idea is to constantly learn. If we have enough information and enough copy on Thrive, which makes people learn things about the world and about themselves and about India as a whole, we have a lot of history in our country, which is something that we need to really be proud of. Well, I met her a couple of years back. My very good friend Milind and Pooja had a little dinner for her, and I went to meet her, and I was very taken in by how intelligent and how sensitive and empathetic she was. And I remember gifting her a sari, and I remember her wearing this beautiful Indian sari. I think it was in Delhi she wore it, and I was very touched by it. It's always nice to meet women who understand who they are not afraid of being themselves, there's nothing wrong with being a woman.